Hello, everyone. I hope everyone's doing well. This is your math teacher, Mr. Vahi, in case you were like, whoa, 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 who is this? Yep, it's me. Today I want to show you guys how to multiply matrices. Now, this is different than scalar multiplication, where, say you have, whoops, why is it white? Where say you have a matrix here, and if you're doubling it, you just double all the elements within that matrix. That's scalar multiplication. Matrix multiplication is a little different. It's pretty unique. It's very interesting how it works. Now I have two matrices here, A and B, and we are to find AB and BA. So matrix A times matrix B, and then matrix B times matrix A. So now, of course, you're going to have your calculators to do this. And here's my calculator. Now, as you can see, I've already put in the matrices for A and B. You should know how to do that by now. So I have, let me just make sure I did wrote them down correctly. There's matrix A and matrix B. Yep, looks good to me. So I already put them in, and I just have this here just to show you that I already wrote them in. So you would input them in using the matrix edit function, and when you want to multiply them, you just choose matrix A times matrix B. And oh, that's pretty cool. It almost looks like it's in reduced row echelon form. Almost, but not quite. So AB would be negative. Oh, come on, don't do this on me right now. How are your days going? Okay, you are getting crazy on me. Well, there's matrix A times matrix B. Let's go ahead and do matrix B times matrix A while my computer decides to cool off a little bit. Okay. Now, whoa. You're probably going, why should we do matrix B times A if we already know what A times B is? This is where matrices get a little weird too. Multiplying them is not the same as multiplying like numbers. Like 2 times 3 is 3 times 2. That's the communicative property of multiplication. Matrices don't have that. Okay, so now you're probably going, wait a minute, like wait a tick, hold the phone, Mr. Byte, what's going on? And I want to tell you so bad. It's just that this thing is not cooperating. Let me close this and let me reopen it. That is not what we had. Okay, here we go. AB, I believe we had negative 1, 0, 0, 1. And that's your answer. And BA was some nonsense. Negative 29. There we go. Negative 29. Negative 42. 20 and 29. That's our answer. So what is really going on here? Well, when you're multiplying matrices, you're basically like multiplying different orders of numbers and adding them together. For example, now say I want to do AB, and let's pretend we didn't know these answers. Now again, you can do these strictly by calculator. I'm not going to be grading anything that shows how to do this strictly off of calculator. So I just want to see how much time I have. My 5 minute mark limit is up. So I'm going to stop this real quick and add the next part. And we're back. Okay, so before my last video cut off, I had mentioned that how matrix multiplication is a little different, and I said something about you have to kind of group the numbers in a certain way, and I should have phrased that better. What I was trying to say was, depending which matrix comes first, which is in this case A. If we want to do A times B, they are referring to matrix A first. So we're only going to look at this matrices rows, and for matrix B, we're only going to worry about its columns. Okay, so let's highlight the first row of matrix A and the first column of matrix B. Okay, so what we're doing is now we're just going to focus on the part that I just highlighted. Okay, and within each part I highlighted, so for example, what's the first number of the first row that we highlighted? 5. And what's the first row? What's the first number of the first row? What's the first number of the first column in B? That's -3. So I'm going to multiply 5 and -3. Okay. Now I'm going to pick a different color, and let's look at the second numbers of these highlighted parts. So I have 7 times 2. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add these two numbers. Okay. So -5, 5 and -3, that's -15, plus 14, that's going to be -1. Okay. Now everything we just did just gives you one number. That's the top left number of your matrix. So one way to look at it is we took the top row of matrix A and multiplied it by the left column of matrix B. So the answer for this will give you the top left number of your new matrix. So you can do that way too. So we're done with the top left number. Now we can move on to the next part. So I can do that, or if you wanted to, you can even do the second row and the second column, or the second row and the first column. The order doesn't matter. What matters is where are these going in your final answer. So let's do this. I'm doing the bottom matrix this time, and you don't have to write out which rows, and the bottom row of this matrix this time, and I'm going to stick with the left column of matrix B. You don't have to write this information down, like which parts you're doing. You can just go ahead and go straight to this part. So even though you can do these just on the calculators, I would recommend knowing how to do this by hand, just because in the past we have tested on how to do this by hand. So I would recommend just watching this and making sure you practice doing this by hand, just in case we do have to do that. All right, so we're going to have this, and we have 2 and -3, and then 3 and 2. Okay, so that's going to be -6 plus 6, that is 0. Okay, and now you're just going to repeat these for all these parts, and when you get the hang of this, you'll be going much faster. This is the right and left, or the, well, what am I doing? I'm doing this is going to be I got to move over to this one now. So top right. So we would have 5 and -7. That's going to be -35. Highlighted in yellow. And then 7 and 5. That's +35. And then we add those two, and that gives us 0. And last but not least, we have this. 2 and negative 7 gives us negative 14. And 3 and 5 gives us 15. Adding those together, we get 1. So that's how we got that answer on the calculator. All right. And if you do BA, you'll see why those are not the same answers. The BA did not equal that, as we saw earlier on the calculator. I'm going to make another video. In the next video I'm going to post, I'm going to show you how to do it by hand on a 3x3, which is essentially the same thing, just we have to worry about a third element from each matrix. All right. See you in a bit. I hope this helps, and hope you hear my voice soon.